All right. We are live working again on exorcism.io's exercises, working through some of them. And we're starting today with the hamming exercise. So, introduction. Calculate the hamming distance between two DNA strands. Your body is made up of cells that contain DNA. Those cells regularly wear out and need replacing, which they achieve by dividing into daughter cells. In fact, the average human body experiences about 10 quadrillion cell divisions in a lifetime. Wow. When cells divide, their DNA replicates too. Sometimes during this process, mistakes happen and single pieces of DNA get encoded with the incorrect information. If we compare two strains of DNA and count the differences between them, we can see how many mistakes occurred. This is known as the hamming distance. When we read DNA using the letters C, H, G, and T, two strands might look like this. Okay? They have 7 differences, and therefore the hamming distance is 7. The hamming distance is useful for lots of things in science, not just biology, so it's a nice phrase to be familiar with. Okay. Implementation notes. The hamming distance is only defined for sequences of equal length, so an attempt to calculate it between sequences of different lengths should not work. The general handling of this situation, example raising an exception versus returning a special value, may differ between languages. We're probably going to raise an exception in TypeScript, JavaScript, I'm guessing, but we'll see. So let's download it. Okay, I'll commit that right away. Add hamming distance exercise. Okay, let's take a look at the test while we install dependencies. Oh. Right. Need to go into the TypeScript and hamming directory. Yeah, I've been doing that from the beginning of my 100 days of code challenge since day one, every day, every weekday, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. I think you're following me on Twitter, aren't you? I think. I remember seeing your name, Faint GS. Where was I? Oh yeah, installing. Cool. All right, let's see. Our first test case. So I think we're expecting just a function here. Let's take a look at, nothing's supplied for us, so we're going to have to implement that. Let's start with doing that. Oh no, we're actually expecting a class here. Hamming. And a compute method, which takes 2 parameters of type string. So let's do that. To begin with, export default. Let's call it hamming. Why not? Hamming. And compute, I think, was the method name we're expecting. Let's compute. Yep. Compute. And it's expecting 2 parameters of type strings. What are we going to call them? Let's go back to the exercise. Ooh. Yay, thanks for following. Where are you from? basically two DNA strands. I think we're going to be comparing two DNA strands. So we're computing the Hamming distance between the two DNA strands. So let's call those parameters DNA strand A of type string and DNA strand B of type string. We're expecting a number back, I believe. You're from Canada? I'm from Canada too. I'm in the Montreal area. Yeah, we're expecting a number as a return type. Good. To equal 0, so let's pass that first test like this. Oh, getting your Bluetooth headset working on Linux. Oh, cool. It won't compile unless I do something with these, so let's just do that for now. All we want to do is pass the test. npm test. Yay! All right, next test. Unskip it. We're going to try to get the Hamming distance for a single nucleotide strand. It pairs with my phone perfectly fine, so I can listen to music from it, but listening to my PC audio plus phone audio is God mode difficult level. Yeah, these things, man, sometimes. So this should be easy enough. Let's do a little stupid if statement. If DNA strand A does not equal to DNA strand B, then return 1, otherwise return 0. We should be able to pass both tests with that. I can't actually link the, oh, okay, here's what I'm going to do. It's on the exorcism.io website. I think if you scroll up on the chat, you're going to see a link to that. But the thing is, you need to be a student. You need to be registered to be able to get to the problem. But let me get you, because I've here. Hold on. I'm going to push that to GitHub, so you'll be able to get it. I'll just give you the repo. Just give me a sec here. Repositories. I've got this under exorcism Hamming. Okay. So you'll have everything you need in there. Okay. There you go. That should work for you. And this is the website exorcism.io, but see how this is kind of like my own UUID, and I'm logged in. I've tried doing that before, linking for other people, and it didn't work. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay. Back to our tests. Did they pass? They did. Good. Next. Complete Hamming distance for small strand. Okay, so 2 strands. two nucleotides, I mean. And there's two. It returns two because they're different. All right, this is going to get complicated if I keep going with my if statements, so I might as well implement a real solution here. So what we need to do is count the amount of, I just need to compare the two. Yep, that's easy. Let's just make this a for loop. For, we'll call it nucleotide of DNA strand A. Oh no, it's true. What am I? It's not an array, it's a string. Why don't we make it an array? Array that from DNA strand A. How's that? There we go. Const nucleotide. And then we need to compare that nucleotide. So if nucleotide is not equal to yeah, that doesn't help us at all. Okay, change of plans. By the way, a book I'm reading right now is Grokking Algorithms, which is oh yeah, I've heard about it. I have yet to purchase it, but it's on my list. It's on my wish list. I've read another book that was really interesting too. You might like it if you've liked this one. It's called Algorithms for Life. Basically, taking a bunch of algorithms that are usually, used in the computer science domain, I guess, and kind of applying them to everyday situations. It's really interesting. So, because it's kind of practical in one way. Maybe, yeah. Algorithms to live by, yeah. Could be. And it also helps you understand the algorithms. So okay, let I equal 0. Oops. And then I is smaller than DNA strand. Oh, cool. You read it. Good. DNA strand. Dot length smaller. We're good for that. And then I plus plus. Okay. So now if, what are we comparing? We're comparing DNA strand A's character. So DNA strand A dot char at I is not equal to DNA strand B char at I. Not all of it. I find myself falling asleep reading anything related to algorithms for some reason. They're too dry and feel like they're written for computer scientists sometimes rather than for the practical dev. Well, that's what I liked about that book, The Algorithms to Live By, because I thought it was an entertaining read. I mean, when it comes to stuff about algorithms. I'm kind of a geek. I really like that kind of stuff, so I rarely fall asleep reading them. And I read them right before bed too, so. Okay, what are we doing here? If it's not the same, we need to have some sort of a count. So let count equals 0. And we'll just increment this count plus plus should work. Y count is declared, but its value is never read. Well, it will be in 1 second. There you go. Let's try that. Yay. All right. Looking good. On to the next test case, which is... I'm very confident that it'll work without any changes on my part. Yep. And this one too, because I trust in my algorithm. Boo. Yep. Hamming distance is very long very long strand. Works. Throws an error when strands are not of equal length. Well, that's not gonna pass because I didn't do that. Okay, it fails. And why does it fail? Because it's expecting it to throw with this line here. The string message. So let's do that. Simple enough. We're gonna check this right at the top. If DNA strand length is not equal to DNA strand B dot length, and then all hell breaks loose. We're throwing this here. Did I do something wrong? Yes, I did. This is a property and not a method, I believe. There you go. Okay. So where are you from in Canada? Did you end up telling me that in chat? I just didn't see it. Toronto, of course. I lived in Toronto for 4 years. Early 2000s. Let's run this test. Yay! And just like that, we're done with this exercise. That was a pretty easy one. Now, should we refactor to make this prettier somehow, or easier to read or understand? It's pretty straightforward. Right, just looking at this. What are we doing? First, we're checking if they're the same length. If not, we're throwing. That seems pretty obvious just by reading the code. It was snowing, really? It was snowing just yesterday in the middle of May. Then I remembered the same thing happened last year. Are you on crack or something? We're May 1st. Yesterday was not the middle of May. What? But it is cold, man. It is cold for this time of year. We're just barely over freezing point right here in Montreal this morning, which is cold. And we've got flooding. This year has been rough, man. We got like an ice storm 3 weeks ago. I was out of power for 3 days. Close enough. April 30th equals middle of May. Sure, man. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Should we refactor this, maybe? That seems pretty obvious what's going on here. But I could refactor this whole thing and make it a function. Maybe. Extract to method in class Hamming. What would that look like? Yeah. I could simply call this what? Nah, it would just be more complicated. We'll leave it like that. What do you think, Faint? Faint GS? Do you see any potential for refactoring here? To optimize or to make it more readable? Or should we just submit it like that? Ooh, ternary. Nah. Not a fan of ternary statements. I find that usually that they I find them less readable, actually. But they are more concise. But anyways, I'll choose to just leave it like that. So let's commit solution to that personally, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. Hey, this is like mob programming. A big mob of 2. Add solution to Hamming exercise. I'll push it up to GitHub and then we'll, what is it again? Submit. Yeah, just submit. We'll submit the exercise using exercism, this little CLI tool. Submit, and what's the file name? It's just Hamming, okay. Hamming.ts. Okay, so this seems to have worked. We'll just confirm. Yep, the solution's uploaded. Yay! All right, on to the next one. And I'll do the same thing. I'll download it. I'll push it up to the GitHub, and I'll give you the link. So, but first, let's take a quick look. Scrabble score is what we're moving on to. Given a word, compute the Scrabble score for that word. Letter values, you'll need these. We've got letters, they have values. Example, cabbage should be scored as worth 14 points. 3 points for C, 1 point for A, twice. 3 points for B, twice. Yeah, okay, I get it. Extensions, you can play a double or triple letter. You can play a double or triple word. Okay, interesting. I don't think I can get my headset to work for a while. Oh, that's too bad. So you're just using the speakers right now? Okay. How's the music volume, by the way? You find it too loud? Not loud enough? Can you hear it at all? You don't hear the music at all. Okay, let me try something. How about now? now. Okay. So, but I'll lower it still because I don't want it to be too loud. How's that? All I want is like a slight background music that you can barely hear. You know, just have like a... Well, I like to program to music, and I just find it better. Okay, good. Thanks for the feedback. All right, so we're gonna just close that down here and download our new exercise. Let's go up 2 levels here. Yeah, that's right. I don't want to have to yell over the music. Okay. Just let me know if at some point you find that the music is too loud for my talking. You can't hear me right properly. We're downloading. So this, like that. Scrabble score. Then we need to move into that type script and Scrabble score and install. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our test case here. It scores an empty word as 0. Expect score with nothing to equal 0. So it's only expecting us to implement a function, not a class here. That function is going to be taking a string, which is normally going to be a word. And apparently that word can also have capital letters or lower case. All right, let's begin. We're going to call this word of type string. We're going to return a number, which will be our score. So right now we know it's expecting oh cool, you're in Quebec. I'd add your Twitch link to your Twitter bio. Oh, that's a good idea. Yep, I'll do that. Word plus who cares? Blah. Just wanted to transpile. And we'll return 0 just to get that first test case going. I literally did not know you streamed at all when I first followed you. No pinned tweet or bio suggested it. Yeah, just started all of this stuff. This is all brand new as of last week, basically. So I'm still like, even my Twitter, even I wasn't on Twitter until like 2 weeks ago. I never really, for some reason, Twitter wasn't something I was using. But I noticed that a lot of people in the dev community was using it, so figured I would too. Okay, let's run the test. Seems to be the problem here. Argument of type undefined is not assignable to parameters of type string. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go take a look at our tests here. Ha! It won't compile because it's passing undefined. So let's do that. This should take, yeah, string or undefined, that's right. Let's see if we pass our test now. So I think you're also in the 100 days of code challenge right now, aren't you, Faint? Is it okay if I call you Faint? and not faint GS. Actually, let me make a note right away to add my Twitch to the Twitter bio. That's a very good idea. Add Twitch info to Twitter bio. Okay. Thank you for the suggestion. Next test case. How do you like exorcism so far? I think I might start practicing my Python skills on one of these websites. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Python is fun. I've dabbled with it, and exorcism is really well done, and it's improving. They have some very interesting plans for it. The only thing I would say is right now I'm doing the TypeScript track, and the ratio of people taking, like, of students to mentors is pretty skewed towards the students, so it can take a little while to get feedback for some of your solutions. But other than that, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You get some good feedback. You get to improve, learn. Okay, so let's run this test. Do you mainly code in Python? Oh, look at that. That passed. Yay. So let's go on to the next one. You code in Bash? Really? Wow. That's cool. I don't even know what that looks like. Of course, a very short word, so that doesn't work. What is the syntax like in Bash? Is it like the C languages, or is it completely different? And let's check out my feed. I'm mostly making my custom build of Linux look better. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to take a look at that. So when we're passing A, we're expecting 1. Easy fix. If word. That's what I love about TDD. you can get really far without actually implementing any kind of algorithm that makes sense. Return 1. There we go. Scores a word by number of letters. Okay, this is where this all goes to. Bash is horrible to work with. It's C-like and the scripting language, but the syntax takes a lot to get used to because of all the tiny esoteric details in how it interprets your lines of code. Well, way to sell it. I think I'll stick to JS and TS. So I think at this point we need to implement our scoring algorithm properly. I'll just paste that in here. That, select that. Oops, no. what I want it to do. Okay. So let's see. What are we? Oh, I pasted that in the test file, didn't I? All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. See you around. Export. Okay, good. So, an enum maybe? An enum with all the letters of the alphabet? Ugh. That doesn't appeal to me. Plus, we've got different letters with, yeah. A map. Map could work. Or let's see. Just a simple object could also work. A switch statement. A switch statement would allow me to not have to write the value many times. I think I really don't use switch statements all that often, but it would look something like, let's see, could make it a function. Function. Well, let's just write the switch statement first. So, switch, and that's the value that we're, so letter. How does this work again? Man, I can't remember last time I used a switch statement. And then it's something like case, then you go A, and then you go something like that, and then 1, right? Oh, this has to be a string, right? Yeah, that's right. Something like that, and then technically you're supposed to go break, but in this case, I think I could just go like this and go case. E, or maybe I need this. No, okay, you know what? Obviously haven't done this in a while. The end, switch, please. Switch, express in case, oranges, this, and that. Okay, you still need to put the colon here. So this could be an option, right? If I do it like that, I don't have to put in the value several times. Not much of a shortcut though. But, and I have to write case every time, case, so you know what? I'm not sure I'll be saving time and space doing this. So we'll just go with an object, which we will call scores. Okay, and then this, and then E. Oh, there's got to be a better way to do this. Come on. There has to be. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I could use a map, and I don't know if you code in JavaScript or not. Fad, fad. um, but I'm guessing you're referring to a list for the key, right? So that would work with a map in JavaScript. It wouldn't work with an object, but that's not a problem. I can implement that pretty easily. So I can keep my scores here. So I could do something like this map, which would have a type string array and a key of number. I think that would work, right? And then I could just make an array as the thing here, and then our key array would be yeah, that's a good solution. I like it. That's what we're going with. Oh, yes, and there we go. Ha ha ha, we get to save some time. Let me just see here. Command of type array is not assignable to parameter of type read only string array, and then a number. So we we've got. I need to put this inside an array too, right? To get my second, this would be the. Oh, but they need to be strings. Okay. It was too good to be true. Thought I could just copy paste my way out of this one. Okay. Now before I go too far implementing this thing, let's just make sure that I've got the syntax right. It seems to be okay. I mean, TypeScript's not complaining, so. So I think it's scores dot get, and then we're getting, let's say, I key. Oh no, of course, yeah. I need to go through the. I need to go through the array. So array. Oh, I didn't read your comment properly. Okay, why not make a list and check if letter is in list, then do switch? Well, that would work too. But I'm wondering if there's a way to do this here. By just basically iterating through let's try that. Scores for each. So our value here should be basically, well, let's just call it key for now. It's giving us number as a key. Oh, it for each iterates through the values. I didn't remember that. Which is not what we want. We want to iterate through the keys, and I know there is a way to do this. Returns an iterable of values. That's not what we want. Value number key string. Oh, we get both. We get both. So that'll work. We get both. So we get the value, which we can call score. And this, we'll just call it key. For now, anyways. Well, no, letters. Right? Because the key is an array of letters. And then, okay, let's just get rid of that for now. Scores for each. So for each entry into the map, we look at the letters to see if the letters we're interested in is in there. Oh, I'm definitely going to pull that out and make another function out of this. But for now, let's just, because we need to do that for each letter in our word. Anyways, so where was I? We're going to look at letters. Letters, I think, I don't think there's a has, right? No, but there's something similar to that, I'm pretty sure. Hey, thanks for following, Amy Johnson. Where are you from? Find would work. Returns the value of the first element. We're not interested in where it is. We just want to know if there's one. But it would work for what we're looking to do. Ver shift slice sum determines whether the specified callback function returns true for any element of the array. That is very close to what we want. Or it's actually exactly what we want, really. So I think that's what we're going to use. It's a Boolean. I like it. Some. Does it have to be a callback? Can't it just be? Can't it just be like? Let's take a look at the docs. I'm curious. I seem to remember array. Let's see, MDN array sum. It looks like it has to be a callback, which is a pain because I really just want to pass a string. So maybe in the end find, I think find might allow us to just do that. Find, no, find also expects a callback. What? Which one is it? Find index? I know there is one out there that, there you go, okay. Find index allows us to just pass in the string. No, or a callback, both? Or is it, no, it's a callback as well. Really? They all expect callbacks. I seem to remember a method on the array that just allows you to pass in, you know, a value, and it'll tell you if it's in there or not. Every filter, find for each includes, yes, there we go. There we go. Letters includes, right? Determines whether an array includes a certain limit. Yeah. So does it include our letter? Which, of course, we don't have the letter yet. So let's make loops inside loops inside loops. For letter, I always forget to do const letter of word. And Now we put this in here. That's it. What's a space here? Oh, yeah. You're so smart, TypeScript. You're so smart. So, okay, I'll make you happy if word. Or actually, if there is no word, we probably want to... Getting ahead of myself here in my test cases, but let's peek. Let's peek ahead. What does it want if there is no 0? It wants 0. I knew that. Okay. And if we do have a word, this is what we're going to do next. Const letter of word. Now we're looking to see if we have the letter. If we do have the letter, so this needs to be an if statement as well. If we do have the letter, then great, that's our score. And we are going to, so we need a score flag, which we're going to put here. So no, yeah, yep. Let score equals 0. This if goes to, let's see, which is basically incrementing our score. Oh no, we're not like that anyways. It's not just +1, it's what's that's the score, that's the letters. So if the letters, we are incrementing our score by scores that get I think I can actually just pass in the letters array. That's how maps are supposed to work. Oh, TypeScript seems to disagree. Object is possibly undefined. No, it's not. How is it possibly undefined? Why would you say that? Object is possibly undefined. Letters. Letters here, it's typed as a string array. Yeah. So what's the problem? Score is declared, but it's never read. Yeah, I don't really need it. Oh no! Ah, I'm so stupid sometimes. And we can't name it score because we got a score here and scores everywhere. Ah, okay. Total score. Total score. Total score is incremented by, let's call it letter score. How's that? Letter score. Score. This should work. This should work. In fact, I'm so confident that it's going to work that I'm just going to go ahead and implement the whole lot of them. That's going to be 2. What's going on? Okay. Make those strings. Okay, on to the next one. Actually, let's do this. How many of them? 3. That's going to be 4. That's going to be 5. That's going to be 8. That's going to be 10. Okay. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10. BCMP. No, just the one, just the one. K, FHV, WY. K, well, guess I don't really need to copy paste K. I guess same could be said for J and X. So J and then X. K and Q and Z. Q, Z, or Z, as we say in Canada. All right, so we're returning our total score here. We could probably just do this. I mean, what's better? Well, I guess this is more optimized because we don't declare and assign this variable if we don't need to. Let's run the tests, see what happens. All right, we've got a failure. One failure, two skipped, two passed, one failed. Which one failed? Scores the word by the number of letters. Expected value to equal 6. We received a 0. Oh, wait. 2 failed. Oh. 2 failed, 2 passed. Well, it's basically just returning 0 all the time, is what I understand. Did I not... Did I do something wrong here? For const letter of word, scores dot for each letter score letters. That's our key, that's our value. So we're looking inside letters if we can find our letter. And if we do find it, we increment our total score by the letter score. Don't see anything wrong with this, so let's do a little bit of a console debugging. See if we're passing in the letter, what the letter is first. Make sure this works. T, 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 E, 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 R, R, T, A. Yes, seems to be working. What exactly we're passing in here? Nothing at first, undefined, then A, then we've got street. So this is what, I guess, street, right? Street. We're seeing a bunch of them because it's going through each entry in our map. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries. So technically it should 1, 2, 3, 4. What? That's kind of hard to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So this seems to be okay at this point. So then it's probably a problem with our letter score. letter score. Let's get rid of that here. Aha. Now that's interesting. Our if statement's not working. Letters dot includes letter. Don't see why that would. Oh, wait a minute. They are lowercase. Yes. So I need to make it to uppercase. And that's all we needed. Debugging. Running the test. It should work. And it does. Moving on. Scores more complicated words with more. With more what? That worked. Scores case insensitive words. Well, how is it? Case insensitive words. I don't know. It's all uppercase. Don't exactly know what it means, but it should work. And it does. Okay. So we're good. Passing all the tests. I'm going to want to refactor this though. And I'm still wondering if this is the most efficient way to do this. I mean, it's nice because it doesn't take. I like having all the letters on the same line. Visually speaking, I think it's a good way to do it. If I would have used the switch statement, I would have had like something that's super long. Now here's where I think this can be optimized. We are looping through all the entries in our map, regardless of whether we find a hit, right? If we find a match. So for instance, let's say I wanted to get a score for A. A is the very first entry in our map. I get the score. I don't need to look at the other entries, but right now I am going through them to try to find A. So logically, if I want to optimize this, I should break out of the loop, which I can't do in a for each loop. I don't think so. I don't think there's a mechanism for that. So, so what do I do? What do I do? I could make it just a regular for loop, but then I wouldn't have access to the letter score the way I have now, and also for of iterates through the value. We're interested in the keys. I wonder if you can do a for in on a map. Let's take a look. MDN map. Just map. Look at this. Size, structure, entries, returns an iterator object that contains an array of key value. Oh, well, that's what we're interested in. No, not really. That doesn't make much of a difference because we can't use... Well. Okay, let's keep going and maybe we'll come back to this. This could be an option. For each, that's okay. Iterating map with for of. Maps can be iterating using for of loop, but that's it, right? You get, oh wait, key. Oh yeah, you can just do, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good idea. Oh, look at this, this is brilliant. I didn't think about this, using array deconstruction, I think it's called, or whatever it's called, this new feature, relatively new feature of JavaScript. This'll work. This will work. And then we get access to both the key and the value. Me likey. Me likey. Let's do that. Sometimes you find interesting thing when you look at the docs. So let's just comment that out for now and replace it with our, okay, no, I don't want this to be a var. What is this, 2011? And we're gonna use the same letter score and, oh, but do I need key and do I need to word them? Because it's gonna be looking to, yeah, I think they need to stay key and value. No, I'm pretty sure I can name them whatever I want. Unlike with objects, because it's looking for properties. In the array, it's just looking for the position, so we'll find out soon enough. Our map is called scores. Scores. We don't care about this here. What we want is this. Right? I think so. Just replace the... No, it's missing a letter. Why is it missing a letter? Oh no. Okay, that's not what we want here. Let's get back. Let's get back one step. This is what we want. Because this for loop is replacing this here. We still need this. Shouldn't have commented all of it out. That's missing our bracket. Okay. Letters, number, letters, number. Oh, right. The order is inverted. And now, yeah, I think now we're in business. Let's just run the test first. Just make sure we didn't break anything. We didn't. So we don't need you anymore. Now, the whole point of doing this was so that I could do, if you do find a thing and you do update the score, yes, please break out of this loop. We don't need to keep going. We don't need to keep going. Because there is only one instance and one score for each letter. So we've just optimized our solution. And we didn't break anything. Yay! Yay for us. Okay, anything else we can refactor here? Well, it would be nice if we didn't have a It would be nice if we didn't have two loops, but I don't see a way short of actually making an object that has as a key every single number and as a score, individual scores, and it would make an object with 26, 25, 26 letters, anyways, keys. Of course, we wouldn't need the for loop at that point. Hey, Sprit, 44, what's up? How you doing today? Well, at least I'll extract this. Or should I? Can I? Yeah. I should be able to extract this. Why won't it let me extract it? Why doesn't it offer a simple way to extract it? What do we need here? We need, well, we really just need the scores, which is outside of our function anyways. We need access to the total score. So we can just pass that in. Actually, we can just return that. No, that wouldn't work. Because it's a flag. That's not a flag, it's a... All of that, maybe? No. At least this, I'm pretty sure we can. No. This. Alright, let's see here. If I wanted to extract this, I don't know why it's not offering me the option to do it with that little... But if I wanted to extract this, I would call it compute letter score, or just find letter score. Right? We'd be passing in the letter, so get letter score. How's that? You give me a letter, I give you a score. That's basically the idea here. So I would have to look at our entries. String, forgot to type it. Okay, yeah, it'll be a little different, but still, it'll be a better solution, at least more readable than what I have right now, so let's go with that. So then we actually get this, so we don't need to break, we can just return. Even better, and that'll break out automatically of our loop. Return our letter score. Letter score. Which is a number. And why wouldn't you... If letters function lacks ending return statements. Really? So we're looping. When we get a match, we just return the letter score. So what it's trying to tell me is if, oh, but what if you don't get a match? Then, you know what, just return 0. How's that? It's never gonna happen, but... Wait, what? Oh, no, okay. Alright. Happy now? Better be. And this can replace all of that, and we can just go total score plus equals get yep, get letter score. Just pass in our letter. How's that? Looks pretty good to me. Let's run the test. Just make sure we didn't screw up anything. And it works. And it's more readable. I think. Right? What are we doing here? We're checking if we have a word. If we don't have a word, we return 0. If we do have a word, we look at each letter in the word and we get the total score by adding up each individual letter score. Get letter score, letter. Then we return the total score. Beautiful. I think I'm satisfied with this. And I will submit. First, let's commit. Oh, I don't need this. I think let's just delete that. That was a mistake. Good. Add solution to Scrabble score exercise. Okay, then we submit it to Exorcism with our handy little CLI tool, and Scrabble score is the name of the file, so Scrabble score.ts. Yep. Here we go. Just make sure this all worked properly. Close that down for now. Refresh this. And there it is. Beautiful. So we still have time for some more. So I guess we get to move on to our next core exercise here. Space age. Don't know if we'll have time to finish it, but we'll get it started. So first, let me download it. That. Okay. TypeScript. What's it called? Space age. Space age. Install dependencies. Close that down. Let's look at our test. Okay. Add space age test. Add space age exercise, I mean. Send that up to GitHub. And I'll paste that in chat for you guys. Space age. Working on space age exercise with the link. There you go. Okay, so what are we doing? Given an age in seconds, calculate how old someone would be on Earth. Oh, okay. I get it. Orbital period 365.25 Earth days, or a crazy amount of seconds. Okay, so if you were told someone were what number is that? Billion seconds old, you should be able to say that they're 31.69 Earth years old. If you're wondering why Pluto didn't make the cut, that's hilarious. Watch this YouTube video, because Pluto is no longer considered a planet. Okay. All right. I don't think that should be too hard. Let's get to work. Our tests here are expecting us to supply a class, right? Because we're instantiating it, and it needs a constructor. That's where we're putting our seconds. And age.seconds. Okay, so we have a property, and it want it to be public, where we just store that. So let's start with that. All right. Yep. Okay. Export default space age. No, but class. Space age. Constructor. And now here's a little trick that not everyone knows about TypeScript, but I love, is that you can actually declare and assign properties right in the constructor. So public, what are we supposed to call it? Seconds, just seconds. All right, seconds of type number. That's all you need to do. There you go. Oh yeah, for some reason they had set up exercises come set up with TSLint, and they flipped the flag saying that you shouldn't be doing that. For some reason, I really don't know why someone wouldn't want to use this. I think it's perfectly understandable and legible, but I guess it's not as explicit as having, but still, I like it. Anyone that uses TypeScript should know about this. And we are just going to remove this thing, if I can find it. What is it called though? What was it? No parameter properties. TSLint, no parameter properties. There it is. Let's just set that to false, because otherwise it won't transpile. Okay, let's try our test. Should pass the first test. Or maybe not. Or maybe not. Okay, it won't transpile because the tests are using these here. So they want us to make a method for each of the planet. So we're going to do that. We're going to be nice and obedient. Let's copy this because I think we're going to need that as a reference. Okay. Let's code block this. What was it? VS Code. Shift Alt A. Yes. Okay. I prefer it like that. Thank you. Now, let's implement those methods. So Earth. Are we supposed to pass anything to that? No. Okay. Earth is going to return a number. We're going to implement that later. And then Mercury. And then Venus. Number. And then Mars. Oh. I just thought of something. No, okay, never mind. Never mind. I was thinking we could use like getters and setters or something like that, but it's actually expecting a method. So Jupiter number, Saturn, number, what's after Saturn? Uranus, I believe. Uranus. Number. Am I missing one? Neptune. Neptune. Number. Okay. It wants us to return something, otherwise it won't transpile, so let's do that. Because I was explicit with my method return types, which I think is a good thing to do, although the inferred typing works pretty well in TypeScript, but still. What? On. Oh, you're kidding me. On Earth. On Mercury. On Venus. On Mars. Oh, wait. What's that? Let's use this thing here. On. Then delete, and then, well, I have to do it individually anyways. On Jupiter. On Saturn. On Uranus. On Neptune. Run the tests. Okay, passed our first test. Good stuff. Moving on to the next one. Oh no. This one here. Age in Earth years. So age.on Earth should equal 31.69 if we're past a billion seconds on Earth. All right, so how are we going to solve this? They want the age in years, right? Yes. And we're supplied with seconds. So, and we're given the orbital period in years. So the first thing we need to do is convert our seconds to years, to Earth years. And then we can convert that to the appropriate planet's orbital period. I believe that is what we need to do. So we would first do list dot seconds divided by 31557600, which is the amount of seconds in a year. And now this is a magic number, so I'm not supposed to do that. So what we can do is just use a static. I like to do that, but we could have done it outside. We could do a const outside the class as well. Nothing wrong with that. But I like to make it available on the static class. So static Earth. Let's call it Earth years. Earth years in Earth year in seconds. Yeah, that's very explicit. This is our number right here. There we go. And now all we need to do is this dot seconds divided by space age dot Earth years in seconds, which gives us Earth years. Earth age, let's call it Earth age. And then what we need to do is orbital period in Earth years. So if I'm understanding this properly, we're taking the Mercury example here, where it takes 1 year for Earth to orbit around the Sun. It takes 0.24 Earth years for Mercury to orbit around the Sun. So therefore, we need to divide our Earth age, or multiply it. I need to write this down. That's the rule of threes there, but I need to see it. So 1 Earth year is equal to 0.24 whatever. If I want to find the Earth age, this is what I'm trying to find here. So I need to do my age times, yes, Earth age times Earth age times, oh man, I've got all these magic numbers. What am I going to do with them? I mean, I would not have implemented that this way, right? With separate methods for each planet. I would have made like one general method that would take a planet parameter and then looked up, but anyways. All right, so where do I store? I mean, I can just code this value here right in each method, but that kind of goes against the whole magic number thing. Although I can simply be very, I mean, where else am I going to use these? Nowhere. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? So this is, oh, actually Earth age. Earth age is, I don't need to do anything about this one, but age in Earth years, simply return this one here. So that's taken care of. Return Earth age. I can just actually, I can just do this. That should pass our test. Let's find out if we've got the math right. Phew, apparently we don't. Oh, would you look at that? We need to round. We need to round. Well, I wasn't told about that. Should have known, though. That was pretty obvious. All right, how do we round? How do we round to the 2 decimal places? Is there an easy way to do this in JavaScript? I don't think there is, but let's check. Let's check on the number itself, what we have. Properties. No methods. Is finite as a safe integer, parse float, to fixed. Okay, what is that? Formats a number using fixed point notation. Well, that sounds like what we need. How does it round though? Does it actually round, or it just removes the I think that's what we need. That's what we're going to use. So return number dot to fixed. To fixed. Not fixes. Fixed. Is it? Isn't it? To fixed. Yes. Property to fixed does not exist on type number constructor. Okay, apparently I'm doing something wrong. This should work. Why isn't it working? Oh, it's on the prototype. So that means that it's on the number object itself. Okay. That's even easier. I should be able to do something like that. There you go. You should call this method for number, not use number as parameter of method. I think that's what I just realized, I believe. And we are interested in number of digits after decimal point 2. Now, what's this type string? Oh, it's returning a string? Really? Really? a string representing the given number using fixed. Oh. And we are expecting a number here. So then I need to do parse int, parse float, parse float. Now what? Oh, parentheses galore here. I think this will work. What do you think, Leopotam? Leopotam. It will work. Good. Thanks for your confidence in me. And it did. Good stuff. On to the next one. But you can just write plus instead of parse float. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Automatically using the JavaScript magic. But I like using parse float because it's more expressive. It's not as concise though, I'll grant you that, but so I'll just keep the parse float. But you're right, that's not a bad thing at all. I might refactor afterwards, we'll see. Let's just try to get our test cases in order first. So, age in Mercury years. No, it's expecting age on Earth, so we're testing that. And then age on Mercury. Okay, so this is where, I don't know if you were listening to me a few minutes ago, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with all these magic numbers and how I don't really like to use them in the code like that. But since we're only using these really in the corresponding method, I could just do a const right here. For instance, Mercury is this. So I could say Mercury, right? Mercury. What are we going to call this? Mercury age. No. Mercury. Why the plus sign equivalent with the parse float? That's a very good and yeah, Sulafogori. Good question. And that is why I prefer putting parse float, because not everyone knows about that little trick. Okay, well, you can use dictionary for magic numbers with planet enum. Yeah, so that's an option. That's an option. Not a bad one at all. Instead of just having them, it's just I don't see, like in the context of this exercise anyways, we're only ever going to use each key value pair within the corresponding method. So what's the point, right? It would have made sense to do that if, like I was saying before, instead of making like individual methods, there was this one general method where you would pass, as a parameter the planet name, and then you would look up in the enum using that key. That would have been, I think, a much better implementation. But for now, I'm just going to go like this. So const Mercury orbital. Oh my god, yeah, that's naming stuff sucks, eh? Mercury orbital orbital period in Earth years. In Earth years. Super long, but expressive, right? You know exactly what we're shoving in there. And I think that's very important. If I think of a better way to name this, we will later. And what are we doing? Well, we are taking our Earth age, this dot on Earth age, and we are simply multiplying that with our Mercury orbital period in Earth years. We're returning that. Unless I am mistaken, it should work. But then we're going to end up with the same rounding problem, I think. But let's run it, see if we're at least close. We're not close at all. Look at that. We gave it 16 point something, and it's expecting 280. Okay, so where did we screw up? On Earth gives us our age in Earth years. I want to choose the next. Oh, that's just my. Okay. So we're taking on our Earth age and we're multiplying that by our orbital period in Earth years of the planet. We should be dividing it. Why did I think I was multiplying it? Let's try that again. Yeah, okay. So all we need to do is round it. And now, since we're going to have to do this for every single method, how about we make a generalized private method to do that, which I'll make here and move down afterwards. We're going to call it round. Just pass in your number. Well, let's make it a float number. And what are we doing here? We're taking that float. We are going to fixed with 2. And then we have to do parse float. Parse float. Like that. And we're returning this. Okay. What's it saying here? Round is declared, but its value is never read. Yeah. Okay, take it easy. We're going to be using it. We're going to be using it. Just want to shove it at the bottom, though. That. So we can use it here. Let's try it here first. Round. This dot round. Right? Am I missing anything here? No, that should be it. So let's try that. Make sure at least our on Earth one passes. Yeah, okay. So then I can use it here as well. This dot, yeah. This dot round, bracket, end of the line, parentheses, should I say, run our test. They both pass. Great. Wunderbar. Next test. Age in Venus years. Yep. Okay. Venus orbital period in Earth years is this. And then turn that. Just making sure this is Venus. Venus. Run a test. Oh, and here we have a problem. Okay. Let's see what we get if we don't round it. And I see where the problem is here. Okay. Because we're rounding on Earth, and then we're re-rounding here, so it's screwing up the thing. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm just curious though. Let's see what we're getting when it's not rounded. $78.54. Yeah, so I'm guessing that if we didn't round Earth first, we'd end up being on the lower side of that, 50 split. So, back to the drawing board. Well, this rounding, no, Control Z. Yeah, the round function is fine. The thing is, since we're using this dot on Earth, let's think about this here, because I think we have a test case where we need to return. Yeah, we do, right? So I can try. I don't think it's gonna fix the problem. Our problem is that we're rounding twice. Really, what I think the test cases are expecting us to make these calculations here. Round rounds up. Yeah, but I'm not using round. I'm using... Oh, well, it doesn't always round up, does it? Because this is the rounding function here. It's 2 fixed, right? This is what's actually ending up rounding. Let's see, number of points be in the ratio, fixed point notation. Does it? No, you may be right. Hold on. Hold on here. So if I go 14.2, go 2 fixed. Actually, let's just go 1, 1, 2, right. So 2 fixed. 2. Run. Oh no. What did I do? I don't know. Just grab that and do it straight in the console. No, see, it's rounding down. Yeah, it's rounding. It has the behavior we're looking for. Yeah. Try 14.5. Okay, yeah, that'll be 14 point. Well, 115, I think is what you mean. Here. Yep, it's rounding up. So that's 2 fixed as the proper behavior, the rounding behavior we're looking for. And I really think our problem is, like I was saying, that we're rounding twice, and that's not what we should be doing. So now the question is, yeah, but I don't want to I don't want to do that either, because it might work in this particular case, but it is gonna screw up the other ones. Yeah, no, I get that. That's a good way to do it, but we're still gonna end up with the problem that we're rounding twice. I'm pretty sure that's our problem here. So I'm gonna try to fix that. And I guess I'm just gonna need to use this I could use a const to Earth year in seconds. To seconds to space age, Earth year in seconds. That gives us on I just hate duplicating this. But let me show you that that's where our problem is. If I'm going to do this here like that, pretty sure this will work now. See? There you go. So that's what our problem is. We need to calculate without the rounding on Earth, but on Earth needs to return a rounded. So it's kind of a bummer that I have to. Well, I could make another. Okay, let's do that. Let's make another private. What are we going to call this method? Hey, drop Z-bait. How you doing? We're going to call that. What are we getting here? We're getting the. Getting the Earth age not rounded. How's that? Get Earth age not rounded. We'll just create another on Earth not rounded method. Ah, great minds think alike, eh? That's what we're gonna do. Like that. Get Earth age not rounded. And so we're going to use it here too then. Might as well. Right? This dot get Earth age not rounded and then round it. Yes. I've been stuck for an hour, so I just decided to chill out for 30 minutes before I try again, or else I will lose all sanity. I have left that. I hear ya. Been there. What are you working on? There we go. This works. Next test case. CSS selectors of my page. Oh man, don't talk to me about CSS. It is so, yeah. I find of all the different languages, if you can call it a language, that I've learned so far, and there aren't that many, but I mean, I know JavaScript pretty well, TypeScript. I've played around with C#, played around with Python, HTML. CSS, man, I have a hard time retaining what I learned because there's so many different ways to do things. So you'll try to do something, look something up, okay, so this is a solution, let's try that, and then you won't end up, revisiting this way of doing things unless you work every single day on like UI and CSS stuff. So I I find myself having a really hard time retaining some of the information pertaining to CSS. It's like I always have to start over every time I work on something that involves CSS. So Mars, let's try Mars. So which selectors have you tried? Which CSS selectors have you tried? Class name to my HTML, and I am trying to reach it through CSS, but I can't. Well, that's odd, because classes are usually easy to get in CSS, right? No matter where they are in your HTML file. So how did, like, why don't you give us a little code snippet there? Show us what you've been trying to do. If you want to. Maybe we can help. Who knows? Okay, so your class is select group. And your CSS is, okay, so just get rid of the, you need to get rid of the section. And so you've got it almost right. So you've got dot section, then select group. Just remove the section. It just needs to be dot select group, I believe, from what I remember of CSS. But like I said, I am not a CSS expert. Maybe whoever else is in chat can give their opinion on that if they know about CSS. Okay, so that worked. I think we've got it's pretty much the same thing with all of them. So let's just go crazy and open up all the tests and just implement like we're in 1999. Mars, we're looking for Jupiter. We're going to call this Jupiter. What's this thing here? Oh. Jupiter. Ah, so it does matter if they are capital letters. But yeah, that did the trick. What capital letter are you talking about? In your CSS stuff or in what I'm doing? Because I don't see any capital letters in the code that... Oh, was it? Selection. CSS was selection. You mean section or select? Anyways, the stuff you pasted in chat is all in lowercase. Oh, okay, right. Okay, and this is Saturn. 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 The value for Saturn is... Okay. Uranus. Hee hee. 4. And finally, let's just copy this first. Neptune. Yeah, no problem. Drop the bait. Sometimes that's all you need, right? Get outside your head a little bit. Ask around. And then you get the answers you're looking for. Live on Twitch. All right. Let's run this. I am confident that it's all going to work. Yes. All right. And just like that, we're done with this exercise. Should I refactor? What do you guys think? Don't need this anymore. I mean, it's pretty readable, right? We know what's going on. We're getting the Earth age, not rounded. We're rounding it. Here, couldn't be more explicit what this number represents. And we're taking the Earth age, not rounded. We're dividing it by the Mercury orbital period in Earth years. We're rounding that number. That's what we're returning. Hey, thanks for following. Drop the bait. These are pretty simple methods. Yep, I think we're good. Guys agree? Do you see anything that could be optimized or refactored for readability? Or should we just submit this and see what the mentors on exorcism.io think of this? Cool. Good for you, Dropsy Bait. Welcome aboard the software development train. Are you, do you have some sort of a plan for learning, Dropsy Bait? What are you doing to learn? Are you learning only HTML, CSS? Are you learning a little bit of JavaScript in there too? Add solution to space age exercise. There we go. We're going to push that to GitHub. So, well, I don't want to make this a sob story, but basically I got into a car accident almost a year ago, not being able to do my job anymore. Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to just sit at home, do nothing. So I'm just learning stuff, see where it goes. Well, good for you. And as far as learning stuff, this is, I hope you find it fun. I just really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. But it's also very useful. Even work-wise, I mean, I don't know what you used to do for work, but more and more people get to, work remote doing software development. And so if you have, oh, you used to be a plumber, yeah, so, yeah, that's kind of physical. You're always bent over, and you have back problems now because of your accident. Is that part of the deal? Whiplash and back problems, yeah, that's common, unfortunately. Are you doing some sort of physical therapy? just going to submit this to exorcism.ts. Just make sure this worked. So you're doing physical therapy, but realistically it's not going to be enough to get back into physical work. Well, this might be, you know, an opportunity to try something new and exciting. Realistically spelling, am I right? Don't worry about it. I'm not a native speaker anyway, so I didn't even notice it. Alright guys, so that's it for me for today. I actually went over time a little bit, but we were so far along with that space age problem that figured we might as well complete it. Thanks for sticking around. Hope to see you again. I'm streaming every weekday at 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, except for Fridays at 10. See you guys.